Good morning. It's the Gemini full moon. Let me grab some fire. You know, one thing I was thinking about today is the beauty of innocence. That's the most precious thing of all, right? But then what's wrong with people is supposedly the thing that's right. The world takes you and tries to mold you, gets you confused, makes you turn against yourself, tells you it's your parents, tries to tell you how to live, tries to tell you how to be, creates algorithms to corner you and trap you against yourself. It's all a bunch of manipulation that's not innocent. Evil lives in that kind of aspect. When divinity, God, love, all that stuff remains and maintains its innocence through play. And things trying to control others are not playing, because playing doesn't hurt people's feelings. Playing doesn't manipulate energies to bring others down, doesn't cause confusion. The confusion is the play, but it's obvious. Like saying, oh, well, this table's a bed. Okay, so obviously that's not true, but that's the play, right? But evil does it more like, oh, well, if you touch this table, I'm going to hurt you. What? Okay. Well, I'm not touching the table. See, that's the child. That's innocence and that's love. More so. Well, I just happened to open up my Bible here. Uh, it's one I earned so many years ago. And opened up right to Leviticus 16:5. And it says, he shall take he shall take of the congregation of the children of Israel 2 kinds of the goats for a sin offering, and 1 ram for a burnt offering. And Aaron shall offer his bullock of the sin offering, which is for himself, and make an atonement for himself and for his house. Well, each day we're the offering that we put before the Lord. That's all we are. What's the game? And Joshua called for them, and he spake unto them, saying, wherefore have ye beguiled us, saying, we are very far from you, when ye dwell among us? Now therefore ye are cursed, and there shall none of you be freed from being bondmen and hewers of wood and drawers of water for the house of my God. Wow. Well, thank you, highest of beings. Let's get a read on the on the state of change for the day. Hope everyone's doing so well. Shouldn't bring a piece of paper from last time. Oops. Because God's in all things. Isn't that interesting? So we have a changing state today. Makes sense since it's a full moon in Gemini. So let's see what that has for us. Yesterday we had the end at the beginning, and the beginning at the end. That's a good place to start. We've got a lake on the sky, which is 43. 43 over a lake on fire over mountain the earth. It's 23. 43 to 23. Okay. All right, 43. Tell us what we got going on today. Decisiveness is brought up in the royal court. There's a sincere cry about the existence of danger. Address your own domain. It's not profitable to go right to war. It is profitable to go somewhere. Decisiveness means making distinctions. Strength separating out weakness. It involves being powerful yet pleasant, decisive yet harmonious. When it is brought up at royal court, this indicates a situation where weakness is riding on top of 5 times as much strength. I see that a lot. That's where, like, a leadership role is a shaky position because you're standing upon all of the lower people in order to hold that position. When all those people, well, they can just walk away, whatever, and so your position's still held up, but they can move. They can do something else. They can leave. They can eat a piece of bread. It's not going to change your position. And if they all leave, well, you're still in your position, but who are you commanding? Or some shit like that. If there's a sincere cry about the existence of danger, that caution sheds light. Address your own domain. You'll not profit from going to war, for this preference would lead to desperate straits. It's profitable to go somewhere, for the growth of strength will then be finished. Cultured people distribute their wealth to reach those below them. But if they're proud of their virtue, they're resented. It's interesting because that is transforming and it's in between 2 states of change. So it's neither nor. It's in a flux right now between decisiveness and stripping away, and they're very much opposites. When stripping away, it's not advantageous to go anywhere. And the last one just said it's profitable to go to get somewhere for the growth of strength. Then we'll be finished. And here it says, when stripping away, it's not advantageous to go anywhere. Stripping away means removal. Weakness displaces strength. It is not advantageous to go anywhere. Petty people are on the increase. To adapt to this, to stop it, observe the images. Cultured people value the process of waxing and waning, filling and emptying, for these are the course of nature. Aha! Well, I've been living in that myself, filling the cup and emptying the cup and holding the cup while everyone drinks from it. And then setting down the empty cup and having it for myself. And then filling it with my tears. And then sharing it. The up and down. Where I find it appears that everyone else's cup is pretty much always empty and always full. It's a false cup. Their tears aren't in the cup. Their blood isn't in the cup. Their life isn't in the cup. It's a manipulation cup. It's a false cup. But still respected and honored as all others. That's the cup that they choose to hold. A mountain cleaving to the earth symbolizes stripping away. Those above secure their homes by kindness to those below. Sounds good. What's above and what's below? If the high shall be made low and the low shall be made high, then who's really holding on to their ego? I mean, really. Who thinks that they're greater than someone else and that they have the right to control another? It's always been a question of mine. Because if one wants to control another, then that reveals that they can't control themselves. And so then they don't have the right to, but somehow that, in the regular world, that puts them in the position to control others when they don't have the right to. That they've given up that right, and so then they have that right. What? That's some bullshit. That doesn't even make any fucking sense. We're gonna give all the 2-year-olds the ability to make fire only, and we're gonna give all those that have been to war only the ability to change diapers. Okay. And all tradesmen are only allowed to do tarot. They're all speculative masons now. They can only think about it. They're not allowed to touch the ground. And everyone who's a tarot reader now has to become plumbers. They're not allowed to touch cards. They only can touch copper piping. It's hollow. To help fill everybody's water cup and drain the sewage after they're done getting all dirty and nasty and waiting 2 weeks for the paycheck, but having to pay for all the parts and everything up front out of their own damn pocket. In a weird way, that's kind of the world we live in. What we got here? Yeah, we'll take this too. Today we're reminded today is a day of stilling for the inner truth. Today's a day about peaceful time and separation. It's on my screen. And consistency. And constancy. I don't know if there's a difference between the two words. You have to tell me that. Bears fruit. That's keeping on keeping on. It's strange how everything that lives in ego seems to have format. See, that's the old world, right? So everyone knows the alphabet and knows how to write a sentence. But if you work for this newspaper that or whatever, they use the MLA formatting. And if you work for this place, they use the APA formatting. And if you're a medical transcriptionist, then you use this formatting. And so these are modes of the ego outside of creativity and divinity, where there is no format. Formats are for control and to prove an alignment to a trap, to prove a programming and a limitation within your own being that you've been contained, that you've lost your innocence and essence, at least while you're doing that job for that person. Man, wouldn't that be sad if everyone had to live by a format? Like everyone's just a freaking totem or something. That gets rid of music, even though music does go by a format. A format against one's own soul in order to manipulate others through magic. Oh, tell us something positive about today, Spirit. Tell us something positive. Since today is the day when everyone's living by a format. You know, the worst thing one could do is watch the news. That's the worst thing anybody could do for themselves. Because the whole point of it is to have you confused. And that's really easy to do. Within like 2 sentences of listening to it, you don't even know what fucking reality is anymore. There's aliens. There's drones. There's... We have spacecraft. We have all this technology to see through walls. They got beams. They can put images in your head and talk to you from a distance. Freaking practically use you like a puppet. But, oh, look, there's all these drones. Nobody knows anything. Okay. That's exactly misguidance on purpose. Since media was created by sorcerers to destroy enemies from the inside out. Well, if the people are the enemies and those that are in control call themselves we the people, meaning we're not one of you people. You people are the ones that are slaves. Then, of course, those people run the media. They run everyone around in circles and say one thing 1 minute and do another the next. Or the two don't even relate. It has nothing to do with any of that. It means something else. Why would you want that shit in your head? It doesn't make a lick of sense. So Spirit, give us a positive message, if you can. Hmm. I mean, More or less, the news is just noise. It's just there to scramble your brain. It's like plugging into a gibberish machine. It just goes blah, 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 so that you don't get to be in there. Why would you not want to be in your own fucking head? I need a book. Or want to actually spend some time with somebody. I mean, we're spending time. Just as people. What we got here? We said the devil's not happy today. Well, I guess that's a good thing, right? Or do we want the devil to be happy? Because then he'll be busy and off doing his own thing, leaving all of us alone. Everyone's, I see. It has to do with Christmas and everybody being strapped for money. And then confusion about tradition, intellect, and feelings, and the confusion between them, which Christmas is all about having been able to control for so long. To keep everybody in their egos and in their heads and separate from themselves, so that they're away from the point and detracted from themselves, just working to make that money, just to get that gift, just so that they could sit there and watch somebody open it and then feel, okay, good, I did my job. But one can take care of their loved ones without money, without using your life force to drain yourself for the system, to waste it for stuff after degrading yourself to degrade your own spirit to get a thing, and then to say, oh, here's the value of my soul. Now you have it. Now you don't need me. Merry Christmas. The devil won again. Yay. Now go play in your room. Community and love is over. We're done with that. If you need anything, come back. I got some shit here to get you fat. And then in a week, we'll work on degrading you from your resolutions, because it's about keeping everybody down and weak. And every bit of enjoyment you have, we're going to zap that shit out of you. We'll be like, hey, we're having a Christmas party. Everybody can drink. And then tomorrow we're like, okay, and now we're having a work AA meeting group every Thursday. Everybody was at the party. If you don't show up, now you're fired. New company policy. We're setting everybody up. And if you participated, now you have to participate. And so everyone is in this interesting state. Working out surprise, fear, wonder, enchantment, emotions, trouble. Yeah, it takes some thinking, doesn't it? If every advantage that you take, you have to pay back, then why does everyone only choose the advantages? And then when the tower falls, then they're surprised that they lost it all. When everything was for gain. Shit about everything I do is a loss. So that means, presumably, there's huge blessings coming. All of my life has been lost. And handing over my ass, handing over my love in trust, with intuition, just giving in service to my fellow people, mankind, woman, children, everywhere I go. The full spirit, not out of focus spirit, not focusing a focus. Me, here, I am. You need some? That's love. What's balancing double divided? That sounds like a fucking snake. That's like a shark in some dark waters. That doesn't sound like love at all. And that's kind of what I see. A lot of people seem to think love is. Love's a fucking dark creep. That hides behind rituals and shit. Or the lack thereof. And then you just don't know until boop, it just falls on your head. And you're like, oh, this is how it is. Thanks for the love. And the absence. And the lack of communication. And misguidance. And ignoring me. And taking advantage of me. And only being there when it's convenient for you. Thanks for the love. Don't be a creep. Let's see what we got. Last one's it reminds us to stay positive. Even though it starts with the devil winning. And holding all of us back. And holding all the weapons, but we're all walking away from him. The money's in hanging in the balance. We're all standing around in confusion. Can't see forest for the trees. Holding the world in our hands, all upside down. What's the world? Where are we at? Ends with, like I said, holding on to the positivity. Because all that other shit's an illusion anyway. Holding on to what's important in your heart and what you wish to see in the world is what's important. That's where manifestation is in. That's why the algorithms and all this stuff is about getting into your head and fucking with your head and making you doubt yourself. Because the moment you doubt yourself, then the devil's riding your ass like there's no tomorrow. And doubting oneself, that kind of aligns with the way most people live their lives. Because otherwise they wouldn't keep changing. I mean, we all doubt ourselves whether I should or shouldn't, but doubt as in whether I am or am not, or Oh, I like this person. No, I don't like them. I was helping them, and now I'm gonna try to hurt them. That's a different kind of doubt, and I see that as a very devil-like aspect. Who's trying to hold anyone back? Evil? That's not a who, but that's an entity that is definitely around. Minds us to write letters, composition, focus on writing, use literal senses, and enforce play. That's the main thing. Enforce play. We're playing right now, okay? Adulthood, go the fuck away. We're not playing with that. We're enjoying ourselves. Fuck the rules. What rules? Exactly. The devil's got those. The devil set those up. That's why they say the devil runs the world. And what's the world all about? It's all about rules and about keeping everyone separate and making sure you celebrate things at a certain time with everyone else like you're supposed to. And you're supposed to do things like you're told to. That way, the devil can maintain his power and not be caught off guard. Because, oh, I thought he was so powerful, but he doesn't like to be caught off guard because, well, then he can't maintain his lackadaisical control. Because he can't reveal himself. He can't show himself. He has to hide. And then at the same time, but be everywhere at once in all these different people. I mean, everyone's got a little piece of the devil in them. But the being of all being, a physical, spiritual, mental reality of the world at large is all divine, ultimately. And that's what's important in today's reading.